fun. Okay, you're not gonna be in this situation. I'm gonna give you a few specific ways that you can really intentionally manage your transition to mat leave while impressing your employer. Hey, I'm Shauna, and this is Career Interrupted. You know the feeling, the stress and uncertainty, a growing belly, you know a baby's coming, don't know what that's gonna be like, not to mention what sort of impacts this is gonna have on the professional career that you've worked so hard to build. You're going on mat leave. That's super exciting and also super scary. Stick around. I'm going to give you 3 ways you can actually manage your career before you go out on a lengthy mat leave. My mat leave with my first son was not good, and I do not want you to have that experience. Before I went out on leave, I felt really well prepared, but I had missed some key things that I should have done in advance. Now, while I was out on mat leave, there was a reorganization. I ended up reporting to a new manager. That was not good or fun. Okay, you're not gonna be in this situation. I'm gonna give you a few specific ways that you can really intentionally manage your transition to mat leave while impressing your employer. Talk to your manager. So talk to your manager about your upcoming mat leave. Talk to your manager about your concerns and be prepared to work through a specific plan to address those concerns. If you've got project deadlines that you're concerned that are gonna line up with your due date, by all means, highlight that right away to your manager. You should also be having an ongoing conversation with your manager about things that you might need in terms of employer support throughout your pregnancy. So keep your manager informed of any kind of looming appointments or time away from work you might need to take care of yourself and the baby. Also, be sure to keep your manager informed about your intentions of length of mat leave. So as soon as you know, a great practice is to let your manager know. It's pregnancy, there's a baby coming. Everyone has to be flexible in this situation because just because we make plans today, things might change tomorrow. That's why it's so important to open up the line of communication and keep an ongoing dialogue with your manager about your pregnancy journey and about your plans for mat leave. Write down a transition plan. This will impress your manager. So if your company has a formal performance management system where you're going through a specific document with your manager about your goals for the year or work plan or whatever, this mat leave transition plan should complement that. I would start this sort of like as soon as I'm through that first trimester. I would start a spreadsheet that has all my activities, all my key contacts, and I'd keep it up to date in terms of where I am on each project. Let your manager know that you've done this and review it with them regularly. Having a plan in place for your workload is a really, really good practice because we never know what's gonna happen throughout our pregnancy. By having this document in place, I bet you're gonna feel a little bit less stressed about the workload and like, oh no, what if my water breaks tomorrow? You wanna keep in touch while you're on leave. So have a discussion with your manager and in that, decide a schedule for touch points. Okay, so a couple of things here. One, it is fully your right to completely disconnect from the organization during your mat leave. You can do that if you want to do that. But if you're a career-focused professional and you want to maintain the career and the momentum that you've built over the years, I would highly recommend that you set up a schedule of regular touch points so you can remain top of mind for your manager and other key folks in the company. Reality check. The first few months at home with baby, yeah, there's probably gonna be a period of disconnection. Once you're transitioning nicely into your role as a mom and you feel like you're maybe getting a schedule in place, that's the time to set regular touch points with your manager. But before you go on leave, before you go out with baby, have that discussion up front. I'd like to keep in touch on whatever it is, a monthly basis, or I want to meet up for coffee, or whatever the case it is. The best practice for a career-minded professional, if you're going out on any sort of lengthy leave, the best practice is going to be to stay in touch in a way that works for you and for your employer. Going on mat leave is a really big deal. It's a big transition for both you and your employer. If you're going through it right now, you're probably shocked at sort of the lack of policy or consistency around how maternity leave transitions are managed. I want to tell you this. Big transitions like this in our career are often our biggest opportunities. So in the absence of any sort of really formal policies or processes or checklists that you have to follow, you've got the opportunity to showcase your leadership skills, your organization skills, your overall keenness and your seriousness about your career by taking a hold of this situation. We wouldn't transition people from an organization like through termination or whatever without some sort of plan before the actual termination event happened. We just wouldn't do that because that's not a good practice. However, I've seen time and time again mat leaves that are just, okay, I'm pregnant, I'm going on mat leave with no sort of transition plan. You've got an opportunity. You've got an opportunity as an ambitious professional to fully manage this situation. So many leaders and so many companies are just plain uncomfortable in this space. So why not take the lead? They're probably going to thank you for it. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to subscribe to my channel.